Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in once again to the Self Checkout Show. I am your host, Pastor Will, and it's good to be with you all tonight. As usual, we're going to have a good show like we have every week, but tonight is going to be extra special for me, and I'm sure for many of you that are going to be watching. I want to say hello to all of you that are watching by way of Facebook, YouTube Live, Periscope, Twitter. We appreciate you and thank you for tuning in to the Self-Checkout Show. If you're here, please leave a comment and let us know that you are watching and let us know where you're watching from. We want to know who's out there, what city, what state you're watching from. And also, those of you that will watch the replay, I have a lot of replay watchers. People are at work, people have church on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, various things, school, but they watch the replays faithfully. And I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for watching the replay. By way of announcement, before I introduce my guest tonight, by way of a special announcement, on Saturday, August 28th, this month, August 28th, the Willie Taylor Ministries will be holding our very first in-person event since the pandemic began some 16 months ago. We are back in the building, back in person with the scars no one can see. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a time of healing mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're going to have a wonderful time, and I'm honored to have my good sister, Pastor Andrea Stennis Hudson, will be our speaker for that morning. It's on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. I love to start on time, y'all. So if you know me, you know close to 11 as possible, we'll be getting started because right afterwards, we're going to go downstairs and fellowship and eat. We have a full catered lunch coming in for you guys. So it's going to be awesome. The scars no one can see. If you need more information on that, you can definitely reach out to me, inbox, text, whatever. Let's talk about it. We want to get you tickets to that event. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are examining a topic. You all, if you've been following my show for any period of time, you know that I am big on taking care of your mental health. That is so important to me that we take care of that just as well as we take care of our physical health. And one person that I have been dying to get on this show is here with us tonight. I could not wait to get her on the show. And I'm really extremely honored. You guys don't know what an honor it is for me to have people like this on my show. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you my friend and my sister, Dr. Kermita Washington. How are you, young lady?
I am good. I am here, but you're not dying. I'm here. It's just that, things happen, circumstances. I'm here tonight, though. I'm here.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly glad that you are here. You are a counseling psychologist.
That's correct.
So what does that entail? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I work for the school system. However, my own business is Every Second Counts Counseling and Consulting Service.
Okay.
My main focus is actually on youth, but I don't exclude anyone. I can counsel them from anywhere from outpatient to they need to be inpatient.
Wow.
I have so many sessions with them and see where they're at and where they're going. And if you're not going to do as I instruct, then I just stop the sessions because you're wasting my time and your time too. And time is something we can't waste right now. Anybody that's still here after the pandemic, we have no time to waste.
No time to waste.
We have to continue going. So it depends on the circumstance. It depends on what it is. Some of them are mild and some of them are complicated. In my time, I prevented, I want to say, 5, maybe 6 suicides
That's awesome.
by youth. I got to one location and they had the gun to their head.
Wow.
I had a few of them committed for inpatient services, and this is young and old. And I always follow up with them to make sure everything is okay, even after my sessions. I used to do consultations free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't no more. There's a fee for
Yeah.
consultation now.
Yeah.
Because you want me to sit down and give you a consultation on what's going on and what's happening and which way to go and how to manage this. And this includes marriages and everything,
Okay.
and how to manage this and how to manage that. And then I don't hear from you no more. And then 3 years later, you calling me back again. No, we
Wow.
don't quite operate.
Okay.
So, yeah, I help who, if I see somebody, I help them. Now,
Okay.
I have done a lot of free services because
Mm-hmm.
that's in me. I help them. You had a show one time, and a young lady was commenting about her son who lives in a different state and how she was really going through. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I talked to her via inbox after the show for almost 3 hours.
The young lady that you two were talking when I had my cousin on.
Correct.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then I followed up with her the following week, and I followed up with her the following week. So I mean, I'm big on follow up. I'm big on, if I say I'm gonna get back to you, I'm gonna get back to you. If I don't know something, I don't act like I do.
Mm-hmm.
I will get the resources and get the information for you, and make sure you get the information. But uh, some people that need the help won't ask for the help. Some
That's
people
true.
don't need the help, just want the help just to have the help. But a lot of people, they really think that it's always a dollar sign behind trying to get help. If you need help, ask for help.
Just ask for it. Yeah.
Ask for help. I mean, some of us are sensitive to that fact. It's not always about the dollars, it's about the mind. It's
Yeah.
about the heart. It's about where you want to go and what you want to do. So,
Absolutely. Um, that is, hey, Mama, good evening. I see you. I don't know why I don't see your comment here to put on the screen.
I don't
Let
need
me see if I can fix that because I don't know why I'm not showing it. But anyway, Mama is on. Hey, Mama. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Mama's got a birthday coming Monday.
happy birthday. Happy
Mother has a birthday coming this coming Monday, and that is August 9th. So we will definitely be together and celebrating her. Now, before we get into our discussion tonight, Dr. Kermita, what are you watching on television right now? What's good that you watch?
reunion.
What?
I haven't have nice reunion.
Oh, they did a reunion. I you know.
Listen, let me just make this disclaimer. I don't work in quiet. I never.
Okay.
I have to have either TV on. It's on mute. I can't even hear it, but it's on.
Uh-huh.
Or I have to have some kind of music or something. I cannot work in total silence. I just can't do that.
You can't do it.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm watching a whole lot of stuff, but that I have to be honest. I gave up on it a couple seasons ago. It had just gotten too slow for me, and I would only watch it honestly for Veronica.
Of all people.
Right, the Ice Queen, as they call her. I watched it for her. I thought her character was hilarious and vicious at the same time.
Yeah.
But they are done.
Yes.
The series is ended. Okay. Well, I wish him well. Tyler Perry always has some tricks he pulls out his sleeve. From what I understand, he's bringing Medea back to do. I don't know if it's a movie or a play. I kind of hope it's a stage play because if it is, I'll probably go.
Okay.
Yeah, but Tyler is always doing something. By way of television, I don't know if anybody else, well, I'm sure everybody remembers this. The Monica Lewinsky story with President Bill Clinton. I think we all remember that. Well, Ryan Murphy has done it again. He is bringing a 10 episode limited series to FX next month, and it's called Impeachment American Crime Story. Of course, it's going to be taking on Bill Clinton's presidency and his sexual relationship with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, and he's going to re examine that 90s scandal that shook the nation, and it did. It shook the nation for sure. Um, so I'm going to be looking out for that because I remember that happening, and it was, man, national, international news. So I'm looking forward to that. And anything that Ryan Murphy does, you 9 times out of 10, I'm going to watch it because I enjoy his work. So you all can look out for that too. Since the have-nots is gone, they out of there. Good form. But listen, guys. Um, like I said before, I am an advocate for people taking care of their mental health. That is important to me. It's important that I take care of mine, you take care of yours. Everybody needs to invest in their own mental health.
I was just
And
going to say
yeah, go right ahead.
that because I try to help other people doesn't mean I don't need help.
I like that. I like that.
So you can be so overloaded
Yeah.
with things until you just like I just totally stressed out. I mean, it's just like okay, I can't take no more. I can't take no more. You know,
Yes.
and it's not like since the pandemic and things. I had a couple of clients, virtual and things, but things really slowed down. And once things slow down, something else pick up.
Okay.
And because I'm a counselor, because I'm a psychologist, I do this kind of. I can look at you and just know what's going on. Basically, doesn't mean that I don't have something going on up here myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how you deal with it.
How you deal with it.
Do with it.
Yeah.
I could be stressed and overloaded, and I maybe one or two people would know my family. Somebody in my family would know. Okay, Auntie, you need to chill for a minute. But it happens. It happens to all of us.
It
It's
does.
like
So
because
I'll ask you this, and then we'll move on.
see, that's my
Cup,
niece.
that's your niece.
That's my great.
Hey, Ashanti, thank you for tuning in tonight. If you don't mind, please share this broadcast. Amber Grace is on here.
That's my niece.
I did not know that was your niece. Amber and
Yeah,
I are Facebook friends.
that is my niece.
Well, that's amazing. Hey, Amber. You
Hey, Am.
beautiful ladies, please share this broadcast because I believe that we're going to help someone tonight. And before we get into the main discussion, a couple of months ago I had a therapist on here, Danisha Collier, and I asked her, and I'm going to ask you the same thing that I asked her. And since you mentioned that a few minutes ago, you counselors and psychologists and therapists, you are always helping people, always looking out for people. And I'm going to ask you, what happens? What do you do when it's your turn to need help?
To be in all honesty, I hardly even say anything.
You don't say anything.
I hardly say anything. If I need help or need something I just uh, relax, breathe, refocus, and keep it moving. Very,
Okay.
very seldom would I ask for something like that.
Okay. Now, as we lead into our main discussion tonight, which is going to be really, really good, and we off air, y'all, we talked about it. We're going to have to do 2 parts on this. So good news, she'll be back. That's the great news. Something that is uh, obviously dear to your heart. Um,
My sister's on. Hey, sir.
well, hello there. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Sister.
Thank you. Something that is near to your heart is uh, I don't know if you called it separation anxiety. But I'm imagining that that's possibly something that has to do with it, and that's in relation to uh, the young people that's going away to college. Talk about that. Why is that so important to you?
Well, because a lot of times it's they first year college, not the returning students, the ones that's going for the first time, and that can cause a lot of different types of things to go on within that person, that student, and the family. That the family. It can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. It can cause a lot of stress, a lot of high blood pressure. And let me just get personal for a minute. My great nephew is on his way to NIU.
Okay.
That's my heart. He helps me every day with different things. I'm gonna have a problem with that at first.
Okay.
First, I'm gonna have a problem, and I know I am, and I already know it. My nieces, my nephews, my family. That's the it's like a crochet needle. You know,
Hmm.
it's just like a crochet needle. But I know how to deal with it because I know one, I can get to him, and then two, I can call and I can FaceTime him. But a lot of parents, they get in this depression mode and they get the students that get a lot of different anxiety. I'm by myself. I don't have my mom. I don't have my dad. I don't have my family. What do I do here? Am I going to get up to get to class on time? Am I going to do my work on time? What do I do after I get out of the class? And then you got the parents on the other side saying, they're not here. They're gone. What am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? They're not here. And then they find themselves slumping down into a sense of a depression.
Okay.
Not here, they're gone. And then what happens a lot of times with the students, they can't handle it. And
Well,
they,
your sister said you gonna cry, and she is too.
yeah, honey, yeah. But they can't. The students can't handle it, so they leave in August, and they back at home in December. Or parents going, I got to go get it. I got to go get it. I got to go get it. Let me just put this out. This is just me, and I've been saying this since forever. College is not for everybody. Because they graduated from high school does not mean they have to go straight to college. Now, on the other flip side of that, it does not mean they're going to sit in my house on Xbox all day either.
Okay.
Okay? So now my son, he graduated last year, 2020. Well, if you call it wasn't a graduation. He got his paper. Let me put it that way because there wasn't nothing going on with that. He worked every day 9 to 5. You're going to do something besides sitting on Xbox, but parents, please stop forcing your children to go to college if they're not ready to go. A lot of them are just straight burnt out. They're
Burnt out.
booked, burnt out from the books. They're tired of the essays. They're tired of the tests. They're tired of the papers. And you forcing them to do something which is what we're going to get into that you never did. So now you see an opportunity for them to go. You want them to go. So now here it is. They go. They not happy. What happens? They get all F's.
Yeah.
Now what? See, so don't force them to go. I got my bachelor's in my 40s.
Okay.
I did go to community college. Malcolm X did not for me. I figured, why am I wasting time here? And I can go and get one actual degree. I'm not knocking that because that's what some people have to do. But let your child make the decision for themselves and understand their decision and stand by their decision. All you're gonna do is make yourself sick.
And that is what we are going to get into tonight. Um, the article that you and I both read. Um, it is, for those of you that don't know, we're going to get into some of it tonight. The article is about 8 signs that your mom, and we're not just going to say mother because it's not just mothers and daughters, it's fathers and sons as well.
Actually,
So,
it can be fathers and sons. It could be legal guardians.
yeah,
It could be grandma, granddad. It could be auntie. It could be uncle. Family.
yep. So we're going to look at 8 signs. And we're not going to get into all of these signs, all 8 of them. She's going to come back another time and we will continue. But we're going to look at 8 signs that your parents, your guardians, whoever is projecting their issues onto you. Now, here's what I said on Facebook, and I believe this, that if, and doctor, you can tell me if I'm right, if we don't get healed from the trauma that we experienced as a child, we can carry that into our adult life and then end up projecting the trauma we went through onto our children. Is that right?
That is correct. However, how young were you when this trauma happened? Did you actually know that it was actually the trauma?
Okay.
Did anybody talk to you about it? What I mean, the biggest thing with trauma now is one, the pandemic, and two, grief. Those are the two biggest types of trauma
Sure.
there is now. But if you don't know, I went through a trauma. When my mom passed, I tried to give my mom CPR, but I didn't talk about it to anybody. I just went on, and as the days went past, I got better with it.
Okay.
If you don't know, if you say 5 to 10 years old, and something happens, and you don't know what happened, then what? I had one little boy at one of my schools. He was in preschool,
Mm-hmm.
4 years old. Everybody wanted to say bad. I said, no, he's not bad. He's really acting out. This little boy would be so strong, he would pick up chairs and throw them across the room. He'll take tables and throw them. It took 2, 3 men to get one 4-year-old.
Wow.
Something was wrong. And I'm doing my work, but I see this and I'm like, I just can't sit here. Something's got to be done here. Something has to be done. They would actually take him to the social worker and take him to this counselor and all that. It was something going on with that child. Come to find out, that child saw his dad shoot his uncle
Wow.
in the head. And then when that happened, that caused such trauma with the family. He saw his grandmother jump off the 3rd floor.
Jeez.
He needs extensive therapy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys taking him out the room, and you saying he this, and you saying he that, and you saying the other. You got to look deeper than that, because there's something deeper going on. So that was a while back. He graduated 8th grade, graduated in high school now, doing well, because it was addressed. How young do you need to be to know you're going through a trauma? There's
Right.
no age. There's really no age. A lot of people during a pandemic, you living nice, you have a nice place. All of a sudden, you're homeless. That's a trauma.
It is.
You have no job. You're waiting on an unemployment check that may take 6 months to come. That's a trauma.
Sure.
So now back to the school situation. You struggling to survive here at home, and you're trying to send somebody to school.
Right.
You have to, it's called to think. And
Okay.
it's not called, I don't never say it's called common sense, but you have to think. What age is it recognized that you're in a trauma? Now that little boy, he remembers what happens. I seen him not too long ago. He remembers what happened, but he does not let it affect him like he did before. And
Okay.
I'm big on this, Pastor Willie. Do not just let these doctors medicate these children.
Okay.
God,
I hear that.
big on that. Stop it. Because once they start with the medication, more than likely they're going to be on the medication, and then it's going to become a dependency. Get to the bottom of the root of what's happening and what's going on before you decide, okay, he needs to be on medication. Stop that. Sometimes it's just a matter of 2 ears, not hearing, but listening.
Yeah. Okay. That's important. Don't just let them medicate your children. You heard it from the doctor. So we're going to get into some of these signs that your parents or whomever has guardianship over you are projecting their issues onto you. And the first one says that they push you to do what they would do. So how do you think this is projecting issues onto a child. Couldn't it just be that they have their child's best interest in their heart and that they think that that's what they should do?
Yes, I do think that. And a lot of times they do have the child's best interest at heart. However, they still let the child make the decision. It depends on, again, the age of the age. What's the age limit we're talking here? And let that person make their decision themselves. You can suggest things. You can say things and suggest things, but just because they're not doing it your way does not mean it's a wrong way. It means they're probably going to do it the way you're telling them to do it, but they're going down the left side of the street instead of the right side of the street, but they'll end up both in the middle of the street. See, a lot of times parents have to think, I have to think that, okay, I want him to do this, but wait a minute. He may still do that, but he's going to do it in the way he needs to do it. You can't force a child to do what you want them to do the way you want them to do it. It depends on the age again. Let's say from 6th grade on up, because by now they pretty much know what they're going to do or not do. If it's 6th grade on up, you can't force a child to say, let's just go here, go to church.
Okay.
Let's just go here. Let's just go there. You can tell you can 6th grade to 9th grade, you can take them with you to church. But after that, you can't say, well, we need to go to church. We got to go to church. They said 16, 17, 18 years old now. Because you go and you want them to go. I hate to learn that. Okay? Transparency. You just can't force them to go.
Now let me interrupt you right here. And I want to stick a pin right there, because how I believe, I don't care how old you are. If you under my roof, if I say let's go, we going.
Understandably so.
Now, is that a good way to be?
But those rules need to be stated out at first. Just don't pop up all of a sudden. Oh no, you're going today because you here, you stay here, and I pay the bills here. You're going today. It has to be another way, a way around to do it, another way around to say it. Yes, you're right. Because this is mine. Okay. So if I say we're going, we're going. However, it's the way to do it. It's the way it's said. And a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it for it to be received the correct way, especially to our youth. Especially to our youth.
So
you have to have something for them to do when they get there.
Well, that's very true. That's very, very true. That's key. But that's a whole nother subject. But so when the parents push their children to do what they would do, I would like to think that this is what they called parents living vicariously through their children. I think you hit on that earlier. The stuff that the parent didn't do or couldn't do that they really wanted to do, that now they're going to push their child to do it. And the child may not want to do that, may not want to go down that avenue.
And then on the flip side, the child may go down the avenue just to satisfy the parent. But that does not that does not mean it's good for them.
Right. I would think that would be possibly bad for the child, because now I'm not focused on my own happiness because I'm doing it now just to satisfy you.
Exactly.
And that could leave me in a miserable state.
A very, very miserable state. And I understand your mom's comment. If they're in the house, they're going to go into
yeah, that's mama.
School. Trust me, we was there every Sunday too, all day long. That, and I understand that. But that has to be something that's taught to them as they're growing up. And what I was saying is not just all of a sudden, okay, you're going to do this. And, the parent going to sit down and think about, I didn't go to school. I didn't get a degree.
Yeah.
I got a degree. Yeah. I didn't get my high school diploma, but you're going to do this now. They're 17, 18 years old now. It was instilled in me Baby, I was at Metropolitan Missionary Baptist Church, 2151 West Washington, with Reverend E.F. Ledbetter singing every Sunday, every service. From there to Christ Tabernacle, Reverend Bronson, every Sunday, every service. But I wasn't forced to go to Christ Tabernacle.
Okay.
I was at that age. I wanted to go. I was there every Sunday, every service, because I wanted to do it.
Hey, I probably saw you on every third Sunday afternoon because I was over there.
I used to be a Tommy.
I never knew that. I came almost every third Sunday for those music.
I was on Tommy's for 10 years under Jesse Dixon.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm just, not getting off the point of the matter is that, yes, you under my house, you do my rules, you do what I say do. But if you start when they're young, instilling different things in them, not just demanding things for them, but you start instilling different things in them, they'll want to go and they want to do right. Now, that's because the parents are going and the parents are doing right. Let's flip the script. Let's flip the script. Mama not going to church, daddy not going to church. Now child want to go to church. Is that right or is that wrong? To me, that would be right, because child the child can put a sense of emotion in the house to whereas the parent will want to go.
Okay.
What's going on down here? Let me see what's happening here. They always want to go. Now you got the parents, then you get the family. So it's the flip side to everything.
Your sister said that's because what mom and daddy put in us stayed in us.
It stayed in us. And that's what happens. Back on our subject here that we're talking about these topics, because you didn't do it, that don't mean your child has to do it. Because you did it does not mean that they have to do it. Because it might not be for them. Again, back to the school situation. It's not for everybody. Even in state, if you in state, you've been in school 12 years. Okay, now you got college is a whole different ball game. Can you do it? Mom wants you to do it. Dad wants you to do it so they can say, my child got this degree.
Yeah. So we can take that from them pushing you to do what they would do, along with them pushing you to do the opposite of what they would do. So we can kind of couple that in one. I do want to move on to this one. This is another sign that shows that your parents are projecting their issues onto you. They are overly critical. Here's what the article says.
Everything you do is wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything you do, everything you say is something wrong with it. No, it's not. It's how you're taking it, because now you're defending yourself and you're not listening to the child. You defending yourself. Everything they do, it says here that you criticize them more than you build them up.
Yes.
It's a way to criticize them, and it's a way to build them up. You can criticize them in a certain way. Again, your tone has a lot to do with it. Yelling, hollering, screaming, that's not going to work. That just won't do it. But it's a certain way to do it. But you building up, encouraging yourself from your own issues. So now you criticizing them and everything they do.
Everything.
Is wrong. And that's not true. That's because you think it's wrong because you criticizing them. Stop it. Let's start praising our kids. Let's start, I'm talking, my great nephew is 3 going on 4 years old. Yay, you did it. Yay, you did it. What Auntie Car right there. Yay, he just said it Saturday. Yay. Let's start, and stop criticizing them for every little. And if they make a mistake, you still don't have to criticize them. You could talk to them about what happened, but you don't have to just put them down. You don't have to. I mean, come on. I just don't. You just don't. What she
Sister says, on the flip side, the parent may push you to go to college because you're getting free money, and if you don't go immediately after high school, you lose the money. But
that's not true.
Even if that was true, I still agree with Dr. Kermita by saying let them take a breather. for 6 months, a year, or let them go to work for a short time. I agree with that. However, at the same time, I could actually see what she's saying too. If
I
there's
totally understand what she's saying too. However, if they don't go immediately after school, they won't lose free funding because a lot of students can go to Malcolm X free. They can go to community colleges free. They don't have to go to a 4-year college out of state, and they still can do that because they have up to 2 years after high school to go and still get the free grants and things. They have up to 2 years after high school. Now, after your 2 years is up, then it's going to be on you. So it's still not really a push, for them to go right away. I understand what she's saying. Trust me. But
so back on to number 3. Is there, how do you think, now let's talk adult children who have overly critical parents. How do you think, because every family dynamic is so different, how do you think, what's the best avenue for an adult child to take to say, hey, mom and dad, y'all slow down, pump your brakes a little bit, so to speak, with them being overly critical?
you have to pick your battles.
Okay.
You have to pick your battles. You have to know what to say when you have to know how your parents are. You will need to know how they will take what you say or things like that. And there's a way to do that also. Just let them know, I need to talk to you all. Okay. This is what's going on within me, and this is affecting me.
Now that's good. Now, what if I have, and my mom is on here, God knows this isn't her, but I'm just hypothetically
Your
speaking.
mom and my sister, Lord.
What if I have the type of parent or parents that I already know they're not going to receive what I'm saying to them? I can come and pour my whole heart out, and they'll probably criticize that.
Right at that moment, they will. But you won't think they'll think about what you said.
Okay. Gotcha.
They'll think about what they, at that moment, they may criticize you at that particular moment, but they're going to think about what you said down the line. They're going to be like, oh, okay, this is this way, that's that way. Let me think about how to do this a different way. They're going to think about it because now you are still something in them that's affecting you.
So that is another one of the signs that the therapist who wrote this article says that the adult, the parent, is projecting their own issues onto their child, and that is by way of being overly critical.
And that can also come from low self-esteem with the parent. Maybe the child is doing better off than the parent was at that age. Maybe the parent just has low self-esteem and don't know how to deal with anything, but the child does. So that can come, and they will say, okay, now you're criticizing me, it's critical and things like that. No.
Sister says you better fast and pray first that God will touch their hearts, mind, and spirit, and be open to a different understanding. We're laughing, but I think that should happen because there are some parents, everybody's parents are not like mine, where I can go and sit down and talk to them about whatever. And my dad, God rest his soul, but my dad, my mom, they will live to this day, and I'm 47. I can go and sit down and talk about whatever I want to talk about, and it'll be received. But everybody is not like that. Some people will just criticize every single solitary thing that you do. And I'm saying that I believe that I don't care how old you are, that'll affect your mental state somehow.
Exactly. You can pour out your heart and they criticize. But let's flip it around again. They thought about what you said. Now they're coming back to you for more clarity on what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that they can do better on, what the situation was. So I look at both ways, both sides, not just the one side. Yes, that's critical. Okay, that's absolutely critical. I'm the
Okay.
same. My dad, child, my dad. I give my shoes and my toenails to my dad. Honest to God, I'm a daddy's girl. We all are. We all close knit. But same thing, same situation here. But and to use the words overly critical depends on the situation also. How many
Okay.
times have you tried to talk to your parents about something and they really criticizing everything you're saying? Are you saying the same thing to them over and over again and they constantly criticizing you, which means they're not hearing you, they're not listening to you, but they're hearing you.
Okay. Big difference.
Big difference. How many times? I mean, what does it take? And then when you get older and you move out, you flashing back to the times you talked to your parents about, tried to talk to them, and you vow you're not going to do that to your children.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's another one. Sign number 4 that says their happiness comes first. This is another sign that they say shows that the parents are projecting their issues onto their children. And now, according to this article, the therapist says putting your parents' happiness before everyone else's, including your own, is a sign that their insecurities have rubbed off on you. You may not realize that it's happened, but if you notice that you try to make mom happy regardless of the effects on everyone else, she may, and we're saying she and mom, but it's for both parents or whoever the guardian is, may have projected those issues onto you. Doctor, why is this not a good thing? Why is it not always good to put your parents' happiness before your own?
That's not healthy, number one.
It's just not healthy, period.
It's not healthy.
Okay.
But you have to realize that it's not healthy. You know, we all want to see our parents do well and do good and things like that. But
Sure.
you've been happy for a long time. I'm miserable. How can we solve this situation? How can we solve this problem? You see what I'm saying? They're always okay. Mom needs to go to let's just say, mom needs to go to the store. Reverse that. You need to go to school. Is mom going to go to the store, or is mom going to take you to school? Or is mom going to get you a venture card to get on the bus to go to school? Why she go to the store? Mom's girlfriend calls. Want to go out to dinner. Is mom going to go out to dinner with a girlfriend to make her happy? Or is she going to stay at home and cook something for you to eat before she goes out? Moms, I mean, not just moms, I'm just saying moms, but parents, they have to know when it's affecting the child. And
have to know when it's affecting the
you
child.
have to take a therapist to tell them it's affecting the child. They can see different signs of different things happening. They can see that. We do all we can to raise our kids. All we can. Give them the last if we have to. But they know when something's wrong. You know
Yeah.
when something's wrong. Now you're starting to take advantage.
Gotcha.
That's another issue.
Gotcha.
You. I want. I need. But how about I must have. I have to. I got to go. You totally ignoring that. So they're critical to everything you do and everything you want to do, constructive, of course. But then they want you to do everything they want them to do. Now that's really side twisted. They need to call me for that one.
Okay, here's a question. On the other hand, some parents put their child's happiness first. So what's wrong with that?
And it's the same thing. You can be just as miserable because you want to see your child I'm gonna put it out there in the Gucci and wearing Louis Vuitton purses and shoes, the Prada, not just no Nikes, not no Vans, but they have to have the Dooney and Burke gym shoes. They have to have the $300-400 gym shoes. Now you put your child's happiness first, but now you're miserable. You can't even go out with your girls because you don't have no money to go because you spending it all on them. Stop making yourself miserable. Stop making them miserable. Live your life. They live their life. It can be a medium right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
I love those things. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Don't get me wrong. I do. but I know where the middle is at.
Absolutely. Sister says you will never be happy. We adult children need to live and have better than our parents did. That's what they worked so hard for in order for us, the children, to have better and do better. I agree with that.
I agree with that, but on the other hand, I put a semicolon there. Some parents.
Some parents. All right. Okay. Patrina, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. She says happiness is an inside job, and that's what parents should know and teach.
That's what I've been saying all night. That's what I've been saying since 7 o'clock. It's
Absolutely.
what you instill in them. It's not always about you. You have to look out for their well-being. I've been saying it. Am I right or wrong? Since 7 o'clock.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So we have to, parents and children alike, need to monitor. Yes, I think that we should, because everybody, y'all know me, y'all know how I am about my mama. And I will go to the end of this earth for her, because see, for me, seeing her happy makes me happy.
And that's me and my dad.
Right. So there's no, and this is just me, everybody is different. There's no misery in me from going the extra mile for my mom. As if I can see a smile on my mama's face, I don't have a care in the world.
Let me just throw in a little thing right here. That's me and my dad, definitely, and everybody knows that. However, comma, that's me and my nieces, my great nieces, and my great nephews too.
Okay.
I would walk barefooted for them.
Absolutely.
They know. I will walk barefooted for them. Whatever if there's a need and they call Auntie, Auntie's there. Auntie gonna do what she can to be there, but Auntie's not gonna neglect herself.
There you go. Do all you can, but just don't neglect yourself.
Don't neglect. Even my
I
sister.
like that.
My sister
I like that.
My sister too. Because we're close like that. But I got one son. He's spoiled rotten, but you would never know it because he worked 9 to 5 every day. He take care of what he's supposed to. But my nieces, my great nieces, and my nephews and my great nephews, if they call, even my non-biological nieces and nephews, and I got about 1,000 of them, if one of them called me with something, I'm gone.
Okay.
Because they respect me enough to think of me as their auntie. Not because I'm my niece's auntie, but they respect me enough for that. Sure. You have to know.
Yeah. These are some good signs, man. These are really, really good. And I want to, it's about 1:45. I want to take a look at one more, and then we'll finish the rest of them the next time you come back. I do want to take a look at one more, and this one is a big one. This one is so big, I did a whole month-long series on this one. Boundaries. Boundaries. One way you can know that your parents are projecting their own issues onto you is when they do not respect your boundaries. That is a huge problem.
Again, it's huge, it's big, but they have to know. You have to teach them that start young coming up. They have to know. My son, no, don't cross. Okay. They all know, but they have to know that. And you can't sit, I'm going to just say it. You can't sit down and smoke weed with your child and expect your child to respect you. You can't go to the club and your son, your child, son, daughter, whatever, they got club clothes too, and you going with them doing the same thing they doing. What kind of boundary is that? That's no morals. Yeah. That's things that I do, my son wouldn't try to do. Same thing, with my nieces and things like that. They know the boundaries, respect my boundaries. And you know what? You don't even have to tell them your boundaries. They know. They know. And now, on the flip side of that, The parents should always be aware of their own boundaries. Don't go against the kids' boundaries. Come on now, it goes both ways. Don't overstep them. Let them live. Let them grow up. Let them make their mistakes to a certain extent. But you got to, again, talk to them. But both ends have different boundaries they have to set. But both ends do, and it's the way to do it.
I think that oftentimes, especially with the family unit, I think that oftentimes the lines become blurred when it comes to boundaries because we're family and I've known you my whole life. So I feel that I should be able to do or say anything because you're my son, you're my mom, you're my whatever. And I don't think that should be.
Let me just plug in right here. Are you talking from the old school or the new school parents?
Oh, well, now there's a big difference right there. I see you. I see you, doctor.
The old school parents, they set boundaries and we respected them.
Absolutely.
But these new school parents, they just have nobody to give them the wisdom they need in order to identify what they need to raise their child. It's a child raising a child. And if you don't have nobody to talk to you, I'm not gonna say teach you, but talk to you. I had one parent in one of my schools. She was 22 years old. She had 8 kids.
22?
8 kids.
Good Lord.
So of course I took her under my wing and talked to her and stuff. She had no more sense. But my God, today, it's a difference in old school and new school. Now, when you go with that, the boundaries, Mama could look at you from the nurse's seat and throw her shoe across the church. Won't nobody say nothing. Today they'll call 911, say there's child abuse.
Yeah. Well, this old school I just put on the screen. Sister said I got a cast iron skillet and a broom, and they know it.
Old school. There's a difference. When you have kids raising kids, and nobody to really guide them. And I always thought that when you go to the hospital to deliver your child, depends on your age, it should be somebody there on staff to talk to you about the different things that's going to go on and different things that's going to happen. Just give you a little piece of what's going on. Not just you having a kid because you want to go get a link card.
My.
Or you want to get Section 8 and live with no income. People, they need somebody, and it's really prevalent nowadays. They need somebody to talk to. There's no wisdom anywhere. My grandma, both of them, instilled in us. My mom and dad instilled in us. But that's the wisdom speaking. And then we took it on to, and it's rolling on down the family, right? You got 8 kids and you're 22 years old. What you thinking about?
Yeah.
But my sister said values. You have to know and identify your values to know you even have any values.
Absolutely.
I think they're worthless.
Absolutely. Mom says that she said, I have one child left and we are accountable to each other and I wouldn't have it any other way. And that is true.
And I believe that because you, Mom, I believe that.
Yeah. Patrina says, I hate to say this, but everything old school taught was not correct because they give you wisdom from their experiences and their experiences might not be what we need. Perfect comment, because this is why we're talking about this tonight, because they taught us what they were taught. And if they missed something or didn't experience something or did experience something, then depending on the situation, they could push that onto you. But Patrina, I agree with this. Everything old school wasn't right.
And I'm not saying it was.
Right. But it sure wasn't all wrong.
It was more right than wrong. However, a lot of the old school was just as bad, sad as the new school today.
Sure.
So her statement is very true. Everything old school is not right. No, it's not right. So you know, again, boundaries. Again,
Boundaries.
criticizing. Again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And then too, instead of you hearing somebody, listen to them.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
man,
everything old school is not good, but
I
most
agree
old school,
totally.
the old school Baptists, that was good.
That was good. That was good.
But
Um,
again, it depends on, to be on in all seriousness, it depends on the person, and again, what happened down the line with them that's having them rub off these different issues on their children. What really happened that you didn't really get a chance to talk about? What really happened that you need to really just get out? Some it's just like you have to look in the mirror. Some people carry one bad marriage right over to another bad marriage because their first bad marriage was bad. I'm gonna take some of that stuff that was over there, put it on the second marriage, and I know
yeah.
it's not good. And now I'm on my third marriage. Well, what did you do different from your first marriage?
Yes. 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 So there you have it. And I told y'all we didn't even get through all eight. So trust me when I tell you she's coming back on the self checkout show, and you guys are going to have to come back too. This is the show where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. And it's important to me that we take a look at some of these things and see if they are in us anywhere. Have I did this to my child? Have I done this to my parents? Are we crossing boundaries? Are we putting others' happiness before our own, and in turn making our own selves miserable? These are things that we have to look at, and not just look at, but pray about, and then act on, do something about. I want to push you guys. If you still have your parents, or if you are watching and you have children that are old enough to understand, have conversations, have dialogues. It's important that you do that. Keep the lines of communication open so that no lines get blurred, right? And I hope that as a family unit, you can be honest with one another.
Let me just throw this in real quick when you said that so the lines would get blurred. You can put things into a child all day and all night. It's what they want to do. It's who's talking to them in their left ear and who's talking to them in their right ear.
Hmm.
And what are they going to do with their forehead in the middle? See what I'm saying? So you can talk to them all day and all night, and they have to decide. Some of them decide the wrong things and have to pay the price for what they decide. But you can talk to them all day and all night. You can instill the good things in them all day and all night. But it's up to them to make the conscious decision of what's right and what's wrong.
Absolutely. And Patrina, I like what you just said. You said you learn the culture of your children
Oh yeah,
and deal with them through that and raise them in that way.
that's
I
real.
applaud you for saying that, because I think that if more parents did that, the relationship would be better, because the culture changes with generations. Obviously, we all know that. And we have to, and people wonder, I don't have any biological children, but people wonder why I listen to certain music, why I listen to certain artists. Yes, I listen to Meg the Stallion. I listen to all these rappers. Sometimes I'll cross over to WGCI. I can't listen to that too long because it give me a headache. I'm more V103. But 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 I need to know what's going on. What are the young people listening to? I want to hear the lyrics. I want to know about the artists that's singing them. Yes, learn the culture of of your children. That is so key. I'm
And
going to post that on
the
Facebook.
culture does not mean African American, Caucasian.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't
Absolutely
have
not.
to be just those points. My nephews, that's not my biological nephews. I could just look at them a certain way and they already know.
Yep. 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 Absolutely. So listen, guys, we are coming back. I will keep everybody posted on when Dr. Kermita will be back, because she has to come back. We didn't even finish this, and we could just go on and on and on. Your comments are so wonderful. Before we do leave, I want to two things. I want to once again invite you all out with me, Willie Taylor Ministries, on Saturday. I was about to say October. I'm going too fast. Saturday, August 28th, for our first event back in person, The Scars No One Can See. I want you guys, as many of you all that possibly can, come and join me. We have Pastor Andrea Stennis Hudson as our guest speaker that morning. It's on a Saturday. That's right, Saturday morning. And we're going to deal with things like that we're talking about tonight that affect us inwardly, that affect us mentally, spiritually, emotionally. We're going to deal with that. And she is a powerhouse all by herself. She is our guest speaker. That's The Scars No One Can See Saturday. I keep wanting to say October. I might have to do something in October too. August 28th at 11 a.m. I want you to join me for that if you possibly can. And before we say goodbye, let me just leave this with you from Acts chapter 12. It was the Apostle Peter was in prison. And long story short, that chapter says that the church prayed earnestly for him. They prayed day and night for Peter until God saw fit to break him out of the prison by way of an angel. Told him to get up. The shackles he had on him fell off. It was time for his breakthrough. He was out of there. And I want you to know that this week I am praying for you to have the same kind of breakthrough. We've been in prison for the past 16 months with this doggone pandemic. Okay? I see you, doctor.
If you need help, ask for help.
If you need help, ask for it.
Everything is not $1. Just know that. But do know that if you asking me for help, and I do know everything is not $1, I know when you're not being truthful.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you need help, ask for help. If you know somebody else who needs help, ask for help. There's a way to approach them. Ask. A-S-K. Just ask.
Plain and simple. Just ask. So, guys, we're going to say goodnight for now. I'll be back next week. And next week, I'm excited to have 3 young, Black, successful entrepreneurs will be on tonight. And they're going to talk with us and share their secrets to success. Young, I think they're all in their 20s maybe. And they all have their own businesses. They're going to be right here on the show with us. And I'm looking forward to that. So, again, you guys, I'm praying for your breakthrough this week. Keep the faith, stay encouraged, check yourself, right? And we'll be back next week. And Dr. Kermita is going to be back. I'll keep you posted on when that is. Until next time, everybody have a good night. I love you guys, and we'll see you next Tuesday night.